Welcome back, guys. We are here with Forbes the Culture. I have a special guest today, legend, business owner, father, entrepreneur, mogul, everything just great. Dame Dash. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. It's so great to see you again. We just wrapped up a dope interview for Remy TV, so we appreciate you coming on this platform so we could talk to you about your many businesses and everything you have going on. So I want to jump right into it. Can you tell us about your own personal journey towards entrepreneurship, and what was that like for you growing up? Like, what sparked your interest to say, hey, I want to work for myself and be my own boss?
Well, when I was 15, I was a drug dealer. And, not to say that I'm advocating that I was surviving, but I became an entrepreneur. I learned how to brand, I know how to package, I know how to sell things, I know how to re-up, all the things that come with that. So from then on, it was about, I never saw the purpose of having somebody tell me what to do when I knew how to find a product that people wanted to flip and distribute. So I just learned what I learned, took what I learned from the street and applied that to legal.
And what are some of the ingredients to being a successful business owner, entrepreneur?
Number one, you can't have any fear. So, number two, you have to be ready to fight for what you believe in. Number three, you have to make sure that whatever you're doing, no one else is doing. It should be something that everybody else is telling you not to do because it's never been done. Who wants to hustle on a crowded box? Who wants to be last, not first? So it's about confidence, no fear, and thinking of things that people aren't doing. It's about creating industry and being confident and celebrating that and the fight that comes with it.
Okay, I agree with that. You also put your own money up to start your businesses. And a lot of people, they feel like they have to take out loans. Like, what's the steps and what can we do as people on the come up to be able to put our own money into our own businesses?
It's all about a flip. You don't have to start big, start small. Buy something for $10, sell it for $20. And, buy something for $20 and sell it for $40. And so on and so forth. That's the hustle game. So it's not like you're going to get there overnight. But begging for money and asking somebody to give you an opportunity takes a lot longer in my mind.
I agree with that. And also and it's so crazy because you have a 24-hour antenna television network. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm moving.
I just have enough content for 24 hours every single day of the week. So it just makes sense. It's logical. The difference between me and another network is the fact that I don't outsource. I own all the cameras. And, I have a collective of people that just make content all day long, and that's the content I'm showcasing. But the content is for like-minded people that believe in independence. People believe in being healthy. People believe in understanding your mental, people that believe in investing in your family, people that don't believe in fitting in. It's about deprogramming. The things that have been put in your face day in and day out since the day you were born is meant to control you. It's meant for you to think you're losing when you're winning and winning when you're losing.
Right. I agree.
It's for you to think you're free when you're a slave. And this is about freedom. Freedom is within. It's about perspective. It's about understanding who you are and opportunities. That's what it is.
And that's what I was going to say, too. Like, what are the pros, to owning your own television network? And you just told us that. I appreciate that. And that's great advice. It's super dope gems. What can we do as people who want to monetize our businesses but don't know how to go about it? Like, how can we flip our money so that we can invest into it so we can monetize ourselves?
I mean, it's simple. If you have a product that's good and you sell it, people will buy it, and then you go buy more of it. The more of it you buy, the less it costs. You buy something in volume, it doesn't cost so much. And especially if you're selling something in volume, you're just making mad bread. If you have a direct-to-consumer relationship, which the internet gives you, that's the reason why I launched Dame Dash Studios or relaunched it, The innovation is the fact that you can buy things while you're watching without disengaging. So the network becomes retail. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And that's what I was going to ask you,
My
too.
network, it's about taste. Taste is priceless. You understand what I mean?
Yep.
Understanding what wealth is priceless. If you think money is wealth, you're out the window. Health is wealth. Love is wealth. Happiness is wealth. Laughing is wealth. Making sure the people you love don't have trauma. That's wealth. Coming outside when you feel like it is wealth.
Right.
If you think wealth is what people think of you, then you're broke. You can have as much money as you want in the bank, but if you're wheezing, if you're in the bed sick, you're broke. If you're not free, you're broke. If your children don't like you and they're unhappy, you're broke.
Yep.
If love is not your currency, you're broke.
Mm-hmm. And you work for your last name, not your first name, like you said, right?
Pardon?
You work for your last name, not your first name, right?
Yeah, I was working for my last, not my first.
Mm-hmm.
The first is temporary. My last lasts forever.
That's right.
And, you know, for some reason, my last name is Dash. Dash is life. It's the day you're born, the day you die. That dash is in between is the life. Life is the dash. That's my last name. And I'm living.
Right. And would you be able to tell us what is unique about Dame Dash Studios and about your television network? What can we expect to see from there?
Like I said, there's a point of view. You know, we deal with education with OSG, 90 Black Principles. We deal with politics. You know, I talk to congressmen like Congressman Andre Carson and Senator Eddie Milson daily about passing laws and lobbying. I talk to Bishop Pinnell about our history and systemic racism through religion. I talk to I talked to Dr. Pinnell, but thank you. I talked to Dr. Pinnell about medicine and the innovations that are coming through that we don't get, that usually our culture gets last. I talked to therapists like Taj and Melanie about the unrecognized trauma that comes with survival when you're Black. You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. Because you know why? Just like you said before, they don't teach us about why it's important for us to go to therapy. They don't teach us about taxes. They don't teach us about farming. They don't teach us about real estate or anything that we need in the real world. And they teach us a lot of fake history and all of that stuff.
Yeah, that's meant to control us, to accept having a job and surviving, living from room and board, which to me is slavery.
Yeah. And you have a cooking show on there as well, right?
Raquel has health as well. You know, we want to make aspirational in the food. It makes no sense to buy designer clothes and foreign cars and be eating Popeyes like a dope fiend. The same food as somebody that can't afford nothing eats. You think you look strong, but your organs are weak.
Yeah.
Understanding what meat does to you, the number one cause of diabetes, the number one cause of cancer, the number one cause of heart disease, the GMO in the food, all of that.
Yep. And we're looking forward to watching you and your wife cook those vegetarian meals, because I don't see any cooking shows with any vegetarian meals at all. So I'm looking forward to getting that knowledge.
Yeah, come on. We're waiting for you.
For sure. And being your own boss, right? It comes with a lot of responsibilities. Could you tell us how you led your team during difficult times so that we could learn how to, you know, build our team back up when we go through difficult times?
I'm always dreaming. You know, there's always a light to look forward to, a future. So the past is always, to me, a learning experience to get to where I want to go. So I look forward to the challenging times so I compete in them. And so does my crew. But we celebrate all our wins, every single one of them. Nothing we do goes in vain. And we enjoy life every day, regardless of what the rest of the world is going through. even in our traumatizing moments that we can't control, we still laugh. And that's real.
And I just wanted to give you your flowers too, because you definitely motivate a lot of us and you definitely help us grow, because we don't have people that's going to tell us anything straightforward. A lot of people, they beat around the bush. A lot of people don't tell us straight up. And we need more people like that. So how can we, as a people, do the same thing so far to help other people?
You just have to lead by example. You can't tell somebody to do something you're not doing yourself.
Right.
You know, you can't tell somebody how to be rich if you're not rich. You can't tell somebody how to be happy if you're not happy. So I just tend to showcase every aspect of my life. I'm very transparent in that way. The ups and the downs. And, you know, if I could do it, you could do it. And that's how I approach teaching. I just can only tell you what I've learned based on my actual experience. Not by intuition and not by conspiracy. By actual, authentic experience.
And since you do help a lot of people and you do give great advice, can you give us an example of, well, some advice that someone gave you that you like today?
I mean, I find different things in different people. So I always learned about looking good when I tell somebody I'm going to knock them out, from Muhammad Ali. You know, I learned a lot from Martin Luther King by showcasing America's weaknesses by standing down. You know, what it took to make black people get abused without hitting back, to showcase to the rest of the world how embarrassing America was. That kind of thing. And doing it in the middle of the church while everybody was outside calling the governor like, you said you was going to show up, you're not here. But I'm going to keep talking. So that kind of courage, you know. I kick it a lot with Farrakhan every chance I get. He teaches me a lot about farming, self-awareness. You know, there's bad things or things that people are scared of about that man, but no one focuses on the things that are not scary, that teaches us. And those are the things that I focus on as it relates to him.
That's dope. And so you're a person
I'm a person that is success. I have a lot of people, even Taj Mahal, that I consider the Dame Dash back in the 40s and 50s and 60s, not 40s, 50s and 60s, and I have access to him. I talk to him often about the blues. And, you know, every decade of music, he can tell me exactly what was going on in the temperature of social and the world in that moment. You know? Yeah,
I agree with that. And you're also a person of great influence. If you could inspire any movement, what would it be?
Well, I think I've inspired a lot of movements. One I've inspired that I'm proud of, that I think people can recognize in this moment, is independence, ownership. You know, I remember when it wasn't so popular, and when I was talking about it, people that were so-called strong, which I consider weak, were trying to ostracize because they wanted this business model of save massa before save culture. And I've never been with that. And I think that's realizing itself now.
Right. And there was a question I want to ask you, because I know, did you start a magazine or are you going to start a magazine?
No, I got magazines. I've been doing magazines. But yeah, there's a magazine. I'll show it to you. You know? And
can we see, can we buy it from Dame Dash Studios? Would we be able to click on it and get it?
Yeah. The first one I did was the top secret one. There with Kanye, waiting for him to let me put that out or whatever he's going to do with it. But then, you know, moving forward, it's on the wall. I'll show it to you. But there'll be magazines, books. You know, I work with a crew called OSG, which is the 90 Black Principles. And, you know, each one of them is making books. So we're putting their books out, our books out. You know, there's a lot of things that are available that not only will entertain you, but it will evolve you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's dope. And I wanted to say congratulations because you're a new father. How do you juggle business and fatherhood at the same time?
You know, when you own your own business, you can architect that. And a lot of my business is my child and things that behoove him. So, the education with the OSG, the working on a syllabus. Rocky just did a kid's book. I've just made my business him. And in that way, he's with me every day.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless of what's going on, I haven't, I'm outside today. That might be once a week, and that just started 4 months later. I've seen my son every single day, all day long, for the last 4 months of his life, which is the first 4 months of his life. And I plan on continuing that. Being a dad is everything. And enjoying being a dad, marinating. And the things I'm doing now will actually affect the trajectory of his whole life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm loving being a dad, an evolved dad. It's my 5th kid. But it's the first child that I'm not visiting. I'm actually raising.
Right. And I love how you say men should be a slave to women. What's your take on that? Like, why is that something that you say?
Well, number one, the creator of life is God. And the only thing I've seen create life is women. So obviously, people want to recognize the fact that women are God. And I can't create life. So my job is to be a slave for who can. And to make sure that the creator of life can do it without any kind of trauma, relax, chill out, no worry, and, just focus on that. And I'll take care of the rough stuff.
Right.
That's what I'm here for. I can't do shit. I can't create life. So at least I can protect the creator of.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. I definitely agree with that. What's next for you?
Mastering what I'm doing now. I have a television network, so it's all the movies, all the documentaries, all the TV shows, the scripted. It's distributing them, it's making them, it's all the ancillary things that come with it. I'm doing Disney on my own with my crew, my collective. I'm having fun doing it. These are my dreams. So it's nothing but making my dreams come true. New movies, new books, new television shows, new albums, new everything, new gear, new clothes, just watching people I love thrive. That's what I'm looking forward to.
So is there a way that us as creators can pitch to you to get our podcasts and shows onto Dame Dash Studios?
If you know me.
So it's exclusive. Anybody just can't get on there.
The creator has to put you in front of me, timing, all those things. But at this moment, I'm so focused on my shit. Unless you come across me, I'm not looking for you.
Right.
To be honest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
But I gotta help you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you coming on here. It was so dope to speak to you. All your gems are crazy. We definitely take those and we put them in our pocket when we need to pull them out. So Forbes the Culture, thank you guys for allowing me to do this interview. And I will see you guys at the next Forbes the Culture interview. I'm looking forward to the next guest. So thanks again, y'all. We will see you next time. Oh, you want to check the question tab, Dame?
I mean, I can't see.
There's a few questions. Let's see. It says, since Best Out to Dame Dash Studios, what do you want to be remembered for?
I guess everything. Just being authentic, and everything I'm doing is documented. I control the narrative. So, just being the coolest motherfucker in the whole world, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The industry conqueror. Like, how Mark Anthony and Julius Caesar, a king is based on how many things you do and how many things you conquer. For right. You can be rich, but if you ain't win a war, you wasn't famous. But I'm actually famous for wars. But wars for the right reasons. And
Rashad says, out of all your creations, do you have any regrets?
No regrets. I mean, look where I'm at today. If everything I did got me here, what am I regret? My only regret is that I lost Aaliyah. Mm-hmm. So I regret being a little more. She told me she didn't want to get on that plane. I should have been an asshole about it. Really.
Wow.
That's the one time I wasn't that I should have been.
Do you plan your children's futures or do you give them choices?
I try to architect them. You know, my son was just born. He has his own clothing line, Baby Dusko. He don't know about it yet, but when he becomes conscious, his normal will be having a business. So I definitely architect my children's future. But, you know, as of lately, this is the first one that I haven't had to, like, fight the mother for every single thing I teach him. They would unteach him, and it became a struggle. I don't understand the benefit of that, you know, but right now is almost where I start. Everything else seemed like practice.
Right. And we also have culture vulture is a term you coined. How do you feel about its legacy?
I love it. Love it. I'm really happy that culture vulture is a word that can define something that most people do not want to be. And that me. My crew. So yeah, we're a culture vulture. That's like white people don't want to be called a culture vulture. It sums up everything.
And what do you feel is your greatest accomplishment so far?
My children. What else?
That's a fact. How has OSG changed your life?
I mean, they made me way smarter, made me way more aware of how to help, when to help. You know, they've just evolved me as a person, but also given me the power to help because I'm aware of what needs help. You know, gave me an answer to a question that I had. How can I help? They're the answer to that. How can I change curriculum and make awareness and bring awareness? They're the ones that do it. And how can I make myself better? Talking to people that can evolve my intellect, which is the OSG.
So thank you guys so much for your dope questions. We appreciate this, Dame. Thank you so much for inviting me to Dame Dash Studios. It's on all platforms. Go and download that, support him. You could shop on there. You could watch food episodes on there. You could see some action on there. It's just basically everything. All original content he has. Go and support him, especially because it's Black owned. Period. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Well, yeah, the next series of Forbes the Culture. Thank you again, guys, and we will see you next time.
If you want another amazing video with the one and only Dame Dash, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.